Hey, this is Ryan of Happy Healthy Vegan. So, did you guys hear about this story last week when it broke? I mean, I was just literally like laughing out loud, just throwing my hands up in the air at how ridiculous and overly sensitive and snowflakey so many people are about plant-based options or vegan food. Like, whoa, it's so crazy. Anyway, it's all about this restaurant chain, which I've never been to, Cracker Barrel. Comment down below if you've ever been, but I looked online and there's not one near me. Like, at least I have to like drive an hour and a half to get to one. But anyway, last week on their Facebook page, they made this innocuous, harmless post advertising one single new addition to their menu, a plant-based sausage made by Impossible as a breakfast option. So this single post on their Facebook page caused all hell to break loose on their Facebook page. So many upset people that, oh my god, I can't believe they're offering a plant-based option for people at Cracker Barrel. So we're gonna go through and look at some of these comments to see how ridiculous and irrational these people are. And did you know this made national headlines? This is how I heard about it. So we're gonna go through it as a vegan channel and check this out. I mean, there were literally tens of thousands of comments, so I tried to find a few of the choicest ones. So let's check out this first one here. Don't ever try to push that crap in my direction. Stick to the basics that made your franchise a success. Push that crap? They put an option, one single option that you can choose to get if you like it, and if not, you don't have to get it. It's like, I'm sure when you go to Cracker Barrel with whoever this person is, you don't get every last thing. You choose what you want. They're just offering you one option. Are you kidding me? Who do you think your customer base is? I still order the double meat breakfast, and it's not even on the menu anymore. Well, good for you. You have that freedom. You have the ability to make the decision for yourself. As horrible and cruel it is, Cracker Barrel has the right to make decisions for themselves as to being able to add a single plant-based option to their menu, and other Cracker Barrel customers, other than this meat lover breakfast guy, other customers can come in and decide for themselves if they want to get an Impossible breakfast patty. You don't have the right to make that decision for anyone else. Why are you being so fascist about this? All right, so here's two comments that kind of go together. You just lost the customer base. Congratulations on being woke and going broke. Oh, really? So now we're getting like cultural politics. Being woke that's what Impossible Burger represents. All the more reason to stop eating at Cracker Barrel. This is not what Cracker Barrel was all about. Well, let's just address this whole thing. Are these people saying that Cracker Barrel customers are such precious snowflakes that, God forbid, there's one new plant-based sausage patty option on the menu, and that alone will prevent Cracker Barrel customers from ever returning to the restaurants again? Like, just the thought of it being on the menu or seeing it up on the menu. I don't know if it's on a board or on a paper menu or whatever. Just seeing that vegan option there, that plant-based option, that cruelty-free option is enough to stop you from going to what I assume to be one of your favorite restaurants. Wow. Just another reason to avoid Cracker Barrel. The cleanliness is awful, the service has gone downhill, and now you're making sausage from plants and seem proud of it. It's aptly named Impossible. Well, so much to unpack here. No, Cracker Barrel is not making sausage from plants. In fact, this commenter seems to know. He called it Impossible. Yes, Impossible. The company known as Impossible is making sausage from plants. Cracker Barrel is merely offering this as an option, which you can choose to get or choose to ignore. But again, another snowflake that can't handle a non-meaty option on their menu. And this is weird because if you look at their menu, there are options you can get that don't involve cruelty, such as fruit and French fries and a few other things. So technically, they already have a few vegan options on the menu, but I guess that's okay. I guess what these snowflakes have a problem with is a product that is a direct substitute for meat. Like, why does that rub you so wrong? Again, you don't have to eat it. I mean, there were many really weird comments, but one of the weirder ones I saw was this guy that was mad that catfish was taken off the menu and won't be giving them any more business. They're commenting on this post about the Impossible sausage. They thought this would be the best opportunity to voice their displeasure of the removal of catfish from the menu, and I guess the addition of a non-animal meat instead of their precious catfish, really, that was what just put it over the top. No more a Cracker Barrel customer. So this next comment's the kind of typical nonsense I see all the time here in the YouTube comments from anti-vegans and like just jackass carnivore guys that think they rule the world because they're carnivore guys. Anyway, vegan losers. I want the real thing and add extra bacon. Well, let me give you a news flash here and just dispel a stupid myth that a lot of people like this have, is that these products are not made for vegans. There's nothing in the product description about Impossible burgers and sausage or on the Cracker Barrel website that this is for vegans. There are many reasons why a non-vegan would choose to eat something like this. Many are doing it for, say, health reasons, like perhaps you had a heart attack, God forbid. You survived it, fortunately, and your doctor said you need to cut back on red meat, cut back on saturated fat, and this person wants to add the extra bacon. Well, that's a processed meat, and if you're wanting to not get cancer, well, processed meats are a group 1 carcinogen as classified by the World Health Organization, and just red meat in general is classified as a group 2A carcinogen. So there's many reasons, environmental reasons, but yeah, vegans can eat it too, but I hate to break it to you, vegans are not the primary customer of these plant-based meat products. They're just for the general population. And it really makes me wonder if these people who claim they're never gonna go to a Cracker Barrel again for the rest of their life really practice what they preach. I mean, take for instance like many theme parks, like say Disneyland. You guys know we've been there a lot. They have vegan options all over the park. In fact, every restaurant, every food place they have there should have at least one vegan option. And like say for sports, Major League Baseball, like go see the Dodgers, and many other major league parks have a vegan or plant-based hot dog that that's available. And so are you saying these guys are boycotting like all these things I just mentioned here because they can't stand the sight of seeing a tofu dog or a Beyond hot dog, whatever, on the menu at a major league ballpark? Really? So if you may have lost all hope and faith in humanity at this point, well, fortunately, there were other positions on Facebook that were more positive and calling these people out for what they are, snowflakes. It's amazing, the snowflakes here getting triggered by a meat alternative showing up on a menu. You can still order regular meat, right? Some of y'all need to grow a backbone immediately. Exactly. And not surprisingly, there were Facebook comments here that sounded like the exact same kind of misinformation that I respond to all the time in my YouTube videos. This guy is saying, I've had multiple friends who've been vegetarian in the past. They got super sick. And as soon as they got on a proper diet of regular food, I guess eating dead animals is regular food, they were feeling great.
Ha ha, take that, vegans. The doctor said meat's healthy for me.
It's a scientific fact that humans can't digest plants as well as other things. You can't argue with that law. Humans can't digest plants as well as other things? Like, what are these other things that humans might be trying to digest? Like plastic or dog poop? I'm sure, I would bet my life savings that this person is not a health professional or anything like that, or a scientist, a specialist in digestion and biology, just some knucklehead throwing out some opinion without any support and just asserting its scientific fact. Fortunately, there were people in the comments that called him out on it. This is so awesome. First comment or reply to him, a scientific fact ... You clearly misunderstand science. Next one, I hope you're being sarcastic, otherwise that's one of the biggest lies ever on the internet. Now I hear these kind of big lies all the time on the internet. And this third replier shares the exact same kind of thing that I've talked about all the time here, about these people that make YouTube videos about, oh, I went vegan and it wrecked my health and I had to quit. Well, here she says, I had friends that tried to be vegetarian, but that didn't do the research to get proper nutrition, so they got sick and then quit. There, I fixed your comment. Yeah, this is exactly what I've been talking about. There's many people I've replied to who've made these videos, why I'm no longer vegan. And it turns out time and time again that they were doing something ridiculous, such as regular fasting, like 30-day water fast, eating nothing but fruit or raw food for years, or drinking turpentine, just odd things, drinking urine, list goes on, all these bizarre things that are not recommended by any health organization that I'm aware of on how to construct a proper, nutritionally sound vegan or vegetarian diet. So I'm glad that this anti-vegan got called out by people on the Facebook comments. Anyway, back to this anti-vegan dude's comment who thinks it's a fact that you cannot dispute. It's a scientific fact that plants are much harder to digest than other things. Well, if anyone knows this Colin guy, please let him know. I'd love him to come to one of my Friday live streams, and we'd love to hear more. We'd love to see him support this outrageous claim. So Colin, if you're watching, you can pop by anytime. You don't need an invite, but I'm inviting you. Come this Friday or any other Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we can work this out in a proper form where we can examine your claims and see if they make any sense, if there's any support whatsoever. And I'm letting you know right now, there's not. Angie just brought me this vegan chocolate chip cookie. Any precious snowflakes out there triggered that there's not actual dairy in this thing? There's no cruelty in here. And it never ceases to amaze me that people who just happily, blissfully eat processed meats and red meats, group 1 and 2A carcinogens, complain about processed food when it's non-meat products like these, Impossible sausages. This anti-vegan guy says, instead of taking in processed meat, you instead will be taking in massively processed soy and other plants, like which other plants, that not only lack a lot of nutrients, which nutrients, and fats a human needs, but also damages your stomach, ... Well, first of all, the two big major vegan meat companies, Beyond and Impossible, they don't use soy, so you're way off base here. I mean, yeah, soy burgers were quite popular, say, in the 1990s and early 2000s, but things have moved on a lot since then, and even so, I would take a bet here. I'm not a medical doctor or professional nutritionist, but I would go out on a limb here and say even the most massively processed soy that he's worried about here. I don't know, even though he's not even being specific. Let's just assume we can find the world's most massively processed soy products. Probably a hell of a lot better for you than the bacon that they serve at Cracker and Barrel as far as like reduced risk of disease by eating the plant-based option. But anyway, yeah, it's touching how these people who have no concern about eating healthy foods all of a sudden become health experts, sounding the warning bells and alarms, the dangers of eating plants.
Plants have oxalates, phytates, salicylates. They have lectins. You've heard of gluten. These are all poisons.
And fortunately, someone on Facebook replied back to him, calling him out on his hypocrisy and nonsense. She says, "Isn't it great how in America we have the freedom of choice?" I'm sure she's being ironic there because apparently this anti-vegan is going ballistic, losing it because there's an option that people have the choice of buying or not buying. That's just so horrible in America to be able to make choices in a restaurant. Suddenly you care about the health and well-being of those around you. That's calling them out. I'm sure this person, this anti-vegan person, is not some kind of health influencer or medical doctor or nutritionist, just some irate snowflake complaining that there's a food offering on a menu at Cracker Barrel, a food that he wishes weren't there. And even PETA made a great, very appropriate comment about this whole thing. They weren't replying to this anti-vegan, but it's still like spot on. PETA says the brainwashing is real. If meat eaters like this anti-vegan think that vegan sausage made out of plants is gross and processed, wait till you hear how their usual sausage of rejected meat is made. Great point, but I don't care. I said, these people are just instant health activists all of a sudden when they hear about meat being under attack as they perceive it. I mean, I could go on for hours and hours. Like I said, there are literally tens of thousands of comments on their Facebook post about this. And I think I covered the general vibe of how it was mostly negative, but I was glad to see the voice of reason step in there with, presenting actual facts using actual critical thinking as opposed to this nonsense we saw by so many anti-vegans. I still don't understand. Maybe you can explain it to me in the comments. Why are these people going ballistic for? Again, it's an option. I know I keep saying this word over and over. It's an option. You have the free choice to make that decision if you want to buy that food option. No one is forcing it on them. So leave your questions and comments down below. Hit like, subscribe. Until next time, remember, doesn't suck being vegan.
My smile may be pretty, but it's all filled with lies. And if you look closely, see, does it reach my eyes? smile.